Hey guys, I'm Tanya and welcome to my DIY kitchen. Today I am going to make sesame seed milk. I haven't done this before. I've made other nut and seed milks before and the process seems to be pretty similar, so I am going to do this in the way that I've done others. And the reason that I'm using sesame seeds is because I recently discovered that sesame seeds have 1404 milligrams of calcium in every cup. Now, for me, calcium is becoming more and more important as I get older, and so I want to make sure that I'm getting enough without getting it from dairy products. So, the sesame seeds are also about $4.99 a pound for some raw organic sesame seeds, and I'm thinking that I can make about 64 ounces of sesame seed milk with 1 pound of raw organic sesame seeds. So that's about $4.99 for 64 ounces of milk, which is a pretty good deal considering that if you order it offline, it doesn't appear to be available in too many stores yet. Sesame seed milk is $6.49 for 33.8 ounces. So just about half of the 64 ounces that I'm hoping to make on the $5 budget. So that's quite a savings. So anyway, to make this milk, I've soaked my sesame seeds in water for approximately 4 hours. This helps soften them up. It also helps to release some of those nutrients that are locked inside of nuts and seeds. And I'll do another video on that at some point to explain why soaking these is important. But the most important reason, at least at this point, is that that's going to make these cream up better when we try and turn them into milk. Otherwise, they would be chunky. So anyway, also, I'm using the Nutribullet 900 series to do this. This blender is amazing. Okay, it's amazing. I have a Vitamix as well. It's okay. I really like this Nutribullet better than the Vitamix, at least at this point. Now, I haven't used the Vitamix as much, but I find this is really easy. The only issue that I run into is it is smaller than a Vitamix container, so I usually have to do things in halves. And so that is what I am going to do today, is we're going to do this recipe in halves. I'm also going to add a date. These I also put in some warm water. I let them soak in some warm water because dates don't chop up very well in any blender that I've found so far. If they're not softened up a little bit, they tend to leave quite a few chunks in there that you don't get blended in. So soaking them first seems to help with that a little bit. And then I have some lovely, it's salt. I just happen to have this, guys. This isn't mandatory. I'm just trying this. This is, it says saffron salt. That I got it's a savory spice. I don't know where I got it, but it smells freaking amazing. It's got vanilla in there and some saffron, and yum. The smell is amazing. So because I would normally add a little bit of salt to my nut milk, I'm going to use this instead and see what we get with that. I am going to be using my milk for things like smoothies and cereals, so adding a little bit of sweet is going to work for me. If you don't want that, leave those things out. Use regular salt without any, additives, the vanilla, so forth, and leave out the date because otherwise it may be sweeter than you want if you're going to use it in savory recipes. So, okay, that being said, I think we've covered all that. So I'm going to half this, and I'm going to wing it. I'm not doing this as an exact science, you guys. This is a couple big spoons in there. And then I'm going to use half my date to start with. And I did see remember, these can have pits in them, so make sure you do not put the pit into your Nutribullet. That would not be good. All right, and then I have 3 cups of water here. I'm not sure I'm going to use all this. I usually do ratio to ratio, so I would double the amount of water to the amount of nuts. So if we were talking, this is about a half a cup of those sesame seeds that I soaked overnight. I'm sorry, for 4 hours, then I would add probably about 1 cup of good clean water to that. And then, because it's going to be kind of hard, this is a pinch, by the way. I'm only using a pinch of salt. And I think I left about half there for our next batch. Then we're just going to put our lid on the Nutribullet. Guys, we got to be careful that we don't fill this too full. This is why I'm doing this in halfsies, because there is a maximum, okay? You don't want to go above this line. Otherwise, you're going to end up with stuff leaking out around this top. And it makes a real mess, and it's hard to clean that up inside of this when it leaks out. So I do strongly advise that you don't exceed the maximum line. All right, here comes the noise, everybody. Okay, I feel like that was a pretty sufficient amount of time. Now I'm going to see what we've got here. The dates, oftentimes, like I said, don't break up as well, so I thought maybe I would run it through a strainer simply because that will help me see what dates I have left. Although I see there's some water in here. I don't want that. So I'm just going to strain it through here just to kind of see all that date came out at the end. Yeah, I thought so. And guys, I prefer not to use a nut milk bag if I can avoid it. I just think they're really sloppy and messy. And again, I'm going to use mine in a way that would be, that I want kind of a thickness to it. I don't want a really thin, runny milk. So straining out every last bit of this stuff is not mandatory at all for me. Now, if you want something that isn't as thick, you're going to want to strain it more. Okay, so there we go. That's half. And then I have a jar here. I'm going to put it in a mason jar. And I'm going to taste it because I don't know what it tastes like. So let's see what we did here. That did come out pretty good. It's not too sweet. You can't really taste the real sweet in it. The sesame is real mild, so it's not overpowering at all. It's a very mild flavor, and you know, I think we could have more water. It's got plenty of taste and texture, so adding more water probably would be acceptable and still produce a thick milk. So the next thing I want to do is the second batch. Oops. Without breaking anything, we hope. Although, I never promise that, okay? So, if stuff gets broke, I'm just saying, I didn't say I wouldn't break something. I'll try not to cuss. That I will tell you. If I break it, I will try not to cuss or yell. How's that sound? All right, and I think I've pretty much managed to get all my sesame seeds in there. And I don't think it was too sweet, so I am going to go ahead and put in that second half of a date. Again, this is a Majol date. That's what I would recommend. They are the most delicious, okay? There are other dates out there. They do not compare. Believe me, I have tried them. I tried to save money on dates by buying something cheaper. Guys, no, don't do it. Majol is the way to go. Make sure you take out the pit. Put that in there. Here's that saffron salt. I'm going to dump that in there. I'm going to put the rest of this water in there. I don't know, there's probably a cup and a half or so. Whoop. Now let's see, did I break my own rule? I did not. So I had just enough room to squeeze that in there. It's just below the maximum line. Okay, so let's get that lid on. And I do sometimes double check this because sometimes these lids go on a little cockeyed. And again, that could cause it to leak and then you're going to have it down inside there. And that's not what you want, I promise you. So make sure it's on there right and that it's tight enough, not too tight, but tight enough. And then here we go. Guys, so here we go, and you can see that's kind of frothy and I can hear it. It's talking to me. See the frothiness, guys? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this pulpy stuff over here, and we're going to drain this batch and see. Probably don't want to go too fast, so you don't want to overflow anything here. So yeah, I'm just draining it through a strainer as opposed to a nut milk bag, which a nut milk bag is probably required for something like almond milk because it is really more difficult to break down. But I find that for these kinds of milks, we might need to stir that a little bit, get the bottom cleaned up so it can continue to drain. With these kinds of milks, you don't necessarily have to do the nut milk bag. I'm sure that the final product has got a little less of this stuff in it, but to be honest with you, it's a real mess. It makes a real mess, guys, in my opinion. I haven't found one yet that I like to use. I think they're messy. So for me, this is what we got. This is how I do it. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping for is about 32 ounces, which I didn't quite get. So what I'll probably do is take this goodness, okay, and I won't do it here because I don't want to bore the hell out of you, but I'm going to take this goodness and I'm going to put it with some more water and I'm going to blend it. Oh, there's still more in here. Hang on a second. Hold up. Let's see what we got now. I was hoping for a full jar. As you can see, a lot of that date is still there, so definitely would be worth blending this through again with some more water, in my opinion, to get some more of that broke up, as well as to break up some more of your sesame seeds into a more liquid form. And I will do that after I finish this video. But without doing that, we still came to almost 32 ounces of milk. Again, at $4.99 a pound. These sesame seeds, that cost me about $2.50 to make this much milk. And this is going to help with calcium, guys. If you're off of dairy, which I'm no doctor and I can't give you medical advice, but dairy was screwing me all up. I can promise you that, guys. My face was broke out. I still have scars from acne. And none of that. I could put stuff on my face all day long, and that would not. It didn't fix anything, at least not for very long. So when I stopped with the dairy and did some other things, that wasn't all, but I did some other things, I was able to clear up that acne, and I have also been able to keep that fairly clear. But if I eat dairy, if I cheat, guys, I get a little pimple. Now, they're not like they used to be. I used to get the big, nasty ones, right? Now, I still get these little, and it's almost like the very next day or 2 days after I decide that I love cheese too much to give it up, then I get acne. So I would advise giving up the dairy. I know that that's hard, and I know that we still have to have calcium, especially if you're a female in my age group. I'm just going to say I'm over 40, okay? Then you need to get the calcium, 1,404 milligrams of calcium in this beautiful cup of sesame seeds. Now, again, we're going to want to use the whole cup, right? But it's a good way to get some calcium into your diet, and it's delicious, guys. So I really hope that you have found something useful here in this video. I hope I didn't go on way too stinking long. And please like, subscribe, share, if you found value in this. I'd love to hear from you as well if you wanted to comment. Thank you guys. Bye bye.